we're still talking about you and your voice. And trust me, it's very important. The Bible tells us that faith cometh by hearing. So if faith cometh by hearing and hearing the word of God, your word is important too. Because having faith in yourself begins with you speaking to yourself. You have to speak to you. You have to speak against what other people say. And every time you do not speak against, you allow their words, even if they seem positive, because a person can speak a positive word and it still not be accurate. Like when people tell you, oh, you look like a preacher, or oh, I thought you were this, or oh, I thought you were that. They are shaping or molding you into something or speaking something that may or may not be true. And anytime it is not true, then it's a whole lie and it's not positive. Because there are people now trying to live and be something that somebody else spoke over them. Your voice is important. When you don't speak to you, when you don't hear it out of your own mouth, you internalize and you allow all of the things that are spoken over you to lie dormant in you. And at the time when you need confidence, at the time when you're ready to do something, all of the voices of doubt will come flooding to the forefront. There are times when you have to stop. Stop people, stop things right in the middle and say, oh, wait a minute. No, no, no. I cannot go with that. I don't agree with this. I agree with that. Don't always just listen to everything and be passive. What you become passive over can take power over you because you don't speak back to it. The word and words are powerful. By words, God built everything. And he said that we are made in his image and in his likeness. So when we speak words to other people, to ourselves, and when you speak words to other people, words are the ultimate boomerang. I have a t-shirt that says that because whatever you say to somebody will come back on you. And when I say you, it may not be you directly, but it may be your descendants. It may be your seed. It could be your spouse. But whatever you speak against or to or about someone, that word will live and it's going to come all the way back. Now, I'm not telling you to walk around and just say great things all the time. No. The Bible teaches us to do what? Speak truth in love. You got to be able to tell people the truth, but it has to come from a good place. And usually whenever you're able to hone in on your voice, you're able to speak even the hard conversations. After a while, you learn how to have a hard conversation with love because now you have exercised your voice. You have practiced. You know, one of the best things about one of the best practices in exercising your voice is to speak in a mirror, to talk to yourself, because then and only then can you hear what you actually say. Have you ever been in a crowd and something was in your head and it sounds so good in your head and you spoke it, and before you could finish or immediately after, you felt embarrassed and you wish you could take it back? That's what I mean by talking to yourself. Talk to yourself daily. You know, whatever your thoughts are, whatever your fears, whatever you're thinking, talk to God and you every day, because you want to make sure that you understand who you are. And you can only do that if you talk to yourself. And what I mean by that, there are certain things that we carry. There are certain insecurities. There are certain concerns that we have. And you got to acknowledge them. That way, when you see somebody else or when someone else says something, you can evaluate where it's coming from. There are times where people are sent in our life and they see those insecurities and they are sent to speak to them and to help us walk through them. And just like those people come, there are people who will pray, PREY, up on your insecurities and your doubts. When you are aware of them, your own insecurities and your own doubts. When you're honest with yourself, and believe you me, there are a lot of people who have trouble being honest with themselves. When you're honest with you and somebody else says it, it doesn't catch you off guard. Then you can kind of look and listen. You can lean back and go, let me see where you're coming from. You don't have to tell them that's what you're doing, but you're able to do that because you have already had this conversation with yourself. At that point, you're able to listen. And once again, you digest and you eat the good and you throw out the bone. You throw out what's not for you. And that is a conversation for you and God. Because there are some people who will prey, P-R-E-Y, on your silence, your passiveness, because they know you won't say anything. And that's all they need is a door, or a doormat, I should say, to walk on. That's why your voice is so important. Trust me, if your voice wasn't important, there would not be such a fight for you to use it. If your voice was not so important, you wouldn't feel bad all the time and think about and internalize and wish you had boldness. You would not have people that you look at and that you admire because you know they're able to say what they want to say. Because you realize that not saying it is eating you away. And what you do, because you don't understand it, you say, oh, I'm not going to even worry about it. And you try to push past it. Some things you can't push past, you got to push through. And it's not going to be comfortable speaking up. A person who is quiet, who has never found their voice, they're not comfortable speaking up. But that's why we talked about in the other videos. And even today, I will say it again. And I said it earlier. You practice by talking to yourself. When you hear things out loud, you can hear what's wrong with it. You can hear what's right with it. You're able to discern what to say because you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that sound like that. And the more you do it, the more confidence, because faith cometh by hearing. The more you hear your own voice, the more comfortable you will be exercising that voice at the right time. You cannot be victorious in anything you do when you don't have your voice, when you're not speaking, when you're not saying, because what you have to say is important, not just for you, but for your seed, your generations, and to break yokes and to destroy the very foundation of the enemy. Whether you are a believer or not, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. When you allow your voice to be stolen, you are killing your present and your future and destroying your life because you have allowed other people to speak, decide, and to declare who you are. No more. They don't know. Most of them speaking over you and manipulating and preying upon you, they don't know who they are. So they definitely cannot tell you who you are. This is our hour. This is your time to begin to speak because faith cometh by hearing. I believe in you. I know you have it in you, and I know you can find your voice. Every day, wake up, thank God, start talking to Him, and then start talking to you. We're going to find that voice. Bye-bye.